Picture this. A towering cathedral looms over a medieval village, its bells echoing with divine authority. But behind those sacred walls lies a world of secrets so dark they'd make your skin crawl. The medieval church wasn't just a beacon of faith. It was a powerhouse of politics, wealth, and scandal that shaped Europe for centuries. From hidden vaults stuffed with gold to whispered conspiracies that toppled kings, the Church's grip on the Middle Ages was as ironclad as it was shadowy. Today, we're pulling back the veil on 5 of the darkest secrets the medieval Church tried to bury. Stick with me, because this journey into the heart of medieval power will leave you stunned, and maybe a bit skeptical of what you thought you knew about history. What's the wildest secret you've ever uncovered? Drop it in the comments and let's dive into the shadows of the Church. The medieval Church was the heartbeat of Europe, guiding souls and shaping society from Rome to the smallest village, Una Chapel. But its influence went far beyond sermons and sacraments. It was a political juggernaut, pulling strings behind thrones and battlefields. Let's start with a secret that could make or break empires: the Church's role as a secret bank. Imagine a time when no one trusted secular banks. Too many robbers, too little security. The Church stepped in, offering vaults guarded by divine authority. Monasteries and cathedrals became medieval Fort Knoxes, hiding treasures for kings, nobles, and even crusaders. The Knights Templar, warrior monks with a fearsome reputation, ran a banking network so advanced you could deposit gold in Paris and withdraw it in Jerusalem. But here's the twist. This wealth gave the Church leverage. Need a loan for a war? Better pledge loyalty to the Pope. Some say the Templars' riches led to their downfall, accused of heresy to justify seizing their gold. Was the Church a holy institution or a financial empire? What do you think? Could a religious order double as a bank today? Share your thoughts below. Now, let's step into the candlelit halls of medieval monasteries, where another secret thrived: the Church's obsession with relics. Bones of saints, splinters of the true cross, even vials of holy blood. These weren't just sacred objects, they were big business. Pilgrims flocked to shrines, offering donations for a glimpse of St. Peter's toe or a saint's tooth. But here's the dark truth. Many relics were fakes. Monasteries and churches competed to attract pilgrims, so some got creative, passing off pig bones as holy relics or weaving tales of miracles to boost their fame. The Church didn't always crack down. Why would they, when donations filled their coffers? In Canterbury, England, the shrine of Thomas Becket drew thousands, but whispers of forged relics stirred controversy. The faithful believed, but skeptics wondered, were these sacred treasures or clever scams? If you were a medieval pilgrim, would you trust a relic's authenticity? Drop your take in the comments. As we move deeper into the Church's shadows, let's talk about a practice that shocked even medieval minds: the sale of indulgences. Imagine being told you could buy your way out of sin, or even spring a loved one from purgatory, for the right price. Indulgences were certificates sold by the Church, promising to reduce your soul's suffering after death. It sounds like a spiritual deal of the century, but it was a gold mine for Rome. By the 15th century, indulgence sellers like Johann Tetzel roamed Europe, preaching that a coin in the coffer could save your soul. The funds built grand cathedrals like St. Peter's in Rome, but the poor often emptied their pockets for promises of salvation. Critics like Martin Luther called it corruption, sparking the Reformation. Was this divine mercy or a sacred hustle? What's the most outrageous thing you've seen sold as a must-have? Hit the comments and let's compare. The Church's power wasn't just spiritual or financial, it was political, and that led to our next secret: its role in crowning and crushing kings. Popes didn't just pray, they played the game of thrones. Take the investiture controversy. In the 11th century, Holy Roman Emperor Henry IV defied Pope Gregory VII over who could appoint bishops. The Pope's response? excommunication, stripping Henry of his divine right to rule. Henry trekked barefoot through the Alps to beg forgiveness, but the Church's point was clear. Kings bowed to Rome. Popes could topple rulers or legitimize them, wielding excommunication like a weapon. In England, Thomas Becket's murder in Setianisnis in 1170, possibly at King Henry II's urging, showed the deadly stakes of crossing the Church. This wasn't just faith, it was power politics dressed in holy robes. If you were a medieval king, how would you handle a meddling pope? Share your strategy below. Finally, let's uncover a secret so scandalous it was whispered in the darkest corners: the Church's hidden immoralities. The Middle Ages weren't all pious monks and devout nuns. Some clergy lived lives that would make tabloids blush. Celibacy was the rule, but stories of priests with secret families or bishops indulging in lavish feasts were rampant. The 10th century pornocracy in Rome saw popes entangled in corruption and debauchery, with figures like Pope John XIII accused of turning the Vatican into a den of vice. Even monasteries, meant to be havens of purity, faced scandals. Some monks brewed more than just ale, and nunneries weren't always immune to gossip. The Church cracked down with reforms, but the whispers persisted, fueling distrust. These scandals humanized the Church, showing even holy men could falter. What's the juiciest historical scandal you've heard of? Drop it in the comments. Stepping back. Why did the Church keep these secrets? Power. In a world of warring kings and restless peasants, the Church was the glue holding Europe together. But it came at a cost. Its wealth, relics, indulgences, political schemes, and scandals weren't just flaws. They were tools to maintain control. The faithful saw divine authority, but behind the scenes, the Church was a master of strategy, balancing faith with ambition. Yet these secrets also sowed seeds of change. The outrage over indulgences sparked the Reformation, and the Church's political games pushed kings to seek independence. The medieval Church wasn't just a religious institution, it was a mirror of human nature, flawed, complex, and endlessly fascinating. What's one thing about the Church's power that surprises you most? Share it below. These secrets also shaped the world we know today. The Church's banking systems laid the groundwork for modern finance. Relics and pilgrimages birthed tourism, drawing crowds across continents. Indulgences fueled debates about faith and money, echoing in today's discussions about ethics. The Church's political clout showed how institutions can sway nations, a lesson still relevant in our polarized world. Even the scandals remind us that no institution is perfect. Humans, even holy ones, make mistakes. The medieval Church was a paradox, a beacon of hope and a keeper of dark secrets, guiding souls while guarding its own interests. Could an institution wield that much power today without crumbling? What do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's zoom out to the human side of this story. The Church wasn't just popes and bishops, it was millions of ordinary people, from peasants praying in village churches to pilgrims trekking hundreds of miles. They believed in the Church's promises, often unaware of the secrets behind the altar. Their faith drove them to donate their last coins for indulgences or risk their lives for relics, hoping for salvation. But they weren't blind. Many questioned the Church's wealth or whispered about corrupt priests. Their doubts fueled reform, proving that even in a world ruled by fear and faith, people could challenge the system. If you lived in the Middle Ages, would you trust the Church or question its secrets? Let me know below. As we close this journey through the medieval Church's darkest corners, here's the takeaway. It wasn't just a house of faith, it was a fortress of power, wealth, and human flaws. From secret banks to fake relics, indulgences to political plots, and scandals that rocked Rome, the Church shaped history in ways both divine and devious. these secrets didn't just define an era, they changed how we think about faith, power, and truth. So, here's your challenge. Reflect on one lesson from this history we can apply today. Maybe it's questioning unchecked power or seeking truth behind promises. Share your big takeaway in the comments. I'm dying to hear it. If this blew your mind, smash that like button, share with your history-loving friends, and subscribe for more dives into the wild past. Our next video is going to be just as shocking. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. What's the darkest historical secret you want us to uncover next? Drop it below, and let's keep peeling back histories. Layers!